Okay guys, today working on the 6x6. This is my 2003 Polaris Ranger 6x6. It's got the 500 motor in it. It's carbureted. So today it's getting a new carb. Okay guys, here's the replacement carb for the 6x6. This is actually from a company called partdiscounter.com. I'll have a link to their website and the eBay ad in the description. I found these guys on eBay. This carburetor goes for about 170 bucks. Okay, so that's a look at the replacement carburetor. Now the next step is to remove the old carburetor, and I'm going to show you how to do that next. Okay, so here's the carburetor. First thing I'm going to do is remove these hoses that are attached to it. They just pull off. Okay, second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the choke cable off. 12mm wrench. You want to loosen up the adjuster, and then this choke cable should screw out. And you can see it comes out here. It's a complete assembly here. They supply you with the new piece, and I'll show you how to take that off before I install the new one there. So I'm just set that off to the side. Okay, so a quick tip on how to get this choke cable out. This is a 10mm bolt right here. 8mm for the actual cable itself, and what you want to do is put a wrench on each of these and give it a quick turn. That should break loose the choke cable, and then you can turn it out, because it's pretty impossible to get a wrench on this choke screw here. Next thing I'm going to do is we're going to take off the throttle cable, and in order to do that you got to take these 4 screws out. Take this cover off. There's 4 Phillips screws there. Okay, so this is kind of a tricky part, actually, unhooking the throttle cable. I recommend using a little screwdriver like this. You want to hold up your throttle. You want to take your little screwdriver, and you've got to bring this straight so you can slide out the deal. Trying to get a good picture of this. You can slide that out like that, and then this little part on here, just you slide it down off the deal, and then it comes off the okay, so next after you get this the throttle cable off the carburetor, 8mm wrench. Take this, unscrew your throttle cable off the carburetor. Okay, next thing I'm going to take the fuel line off. You're going to need a pair of pliers to squish this factory clamp on. Just bring it back. Remember, this is fuel, so it is flammable. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do this when it's when the engine is hot. Just slide the hose off. It may drip a little fuel. You can have a rag there to catch that. You don't want it running everywhere. Okay, next thing you're going to do, you can unhook this hose if you got one going to here. If you have a governor, you'll have a hose going to that. Okay, so I'm going to unbolt these bolts that actually hold the carburetor onto this bracket here, which is on the frame. That's 11 millimeter for these. Okay, so next I'm going to loosen this rear clamp right here. Okay, final step in getting this carburetor off. I like to just take this intake off. I find it's easier just to pull this whole intake off, and then you can take the intake off and swap it out on the bench. Okay, so with everything unbolted, this carburetor should come off here, just like so. Okay, so before we can take this new carburetor, swap it in, we got to take some parts off from the old carburetor. First thing is this intake. You unscrew that clamp and pop it off. That's got to be swapped over. Should just fall into place. It's a nice tight fit, and it should be. We're going to wait to tighten this clamp up till we get it on the Ranger and everything bolted down. Okay, second thing we got to pull off this old carb is this mounting plate right here. Now these are held on with 2 screws, and usually everything on a carburetor is very difficult to get off. You usually end up stripping the screws off if you use a hand one. I use an electric one here. Seems a little impact. And it seems to really help to get these broke off. Okay guys, so you just saw me strip out that one screw. It is not the end of the world here. We'll get this thing out. I just got a vice grip here, and that was pretty easy. I'll have to get a replacement screw for this here, but that kind of stuff happens when you're working with older stuff, so not a big deal. So I'm gonna I gotta find a replacement screw for this, and then we'll bolt this on here. Okay, with everything installed, this is ready to go in the Ranger. I pulled the cover. They had a cap over the fuel line. There is another line right here. I'm not sure exactly what this is for. My carburetor don't have that. I'm just going to leave their factory plug that they have on it, and hopefully it won't give us any trouble. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this carburetor in place here. There's a hose on this one for the drain. Just gonna kind of route that down. Gonna fit this bracket on here, get it on the intake boot, and then drop the line up the bolts for the intake on the motor there. Then it's basically putting everything back on it that you took off. Okay, so I got everything bolted down. Clamps are all tight. Bracket tightened down. Bolts for that bracket are tightened down. Fuel line is in. I would recommend at this time you run a new fuel line and a new fuel filter. You don't want trash going into your new carburetor. Okay, so now it's time for the choke cable and the throttle cable. I'm going to do the choke cable first here. You can see it here. This is the part we screwed out of the old carburetor. Basically, there's a spring here. You're going to pull the spring back so there's no tension here, and you're going to slide this deal off the round part here on the choke cable. That allows you to be able to pull the spring out here. Unscrew the deal here. And that's all comes out just like that. So the new carburetor comes with new pieces, and I'm going to install them next. Okay, so we got the new pieces from the new carburetor. I'm going to slide it on here like so. You're going to thread this all the way down just like the other one was. Okay, then you take your spring. Take your spring, stick it in there. And you're going to have to, like before, you got to pull the spring back. You got to slide it on there. And there you go. It's all assembled again. So we're going to take this assembly here. We're going to slide it back into the carb, the new carburetor. And then we're going to thread it in. And this takes a little bit of patience here because there's no wrench that really fits up in there. So it's a 12 millimeter, but the clearance here, there really is no clearance for getting a wrench on here. So basically you just got to get that tightened down any way you can. Okay, so once you get this tight, like I said, it's a little difficult. You really have a hard time getting a wrench in here. I don't know if they got a special wrench for that or not, but just get her tight. 10 millimeter. Get your choke cable adjusted where it was before. There's a jam nut here. Tighten that down. Put your little rubber boot back on your deal there. And then we're ready for the throttle cable now. So we're going to slide this down in there. You're going to thread it on. Thread it down in there. Again, that's 8mm. Okay, now you got to hook up the throttle cable back onto the carburetor. And I'll try to get you a close up here of how I do this. Okay, so putting this back on, first off, you have to slide this back onto the cable. And you're going to slide it on like that. Once you got that on, you're going to have to open your you got to hold your throttle open on the carburetor. This is very difficult to show you and do this at the same time. You got to get your cable over. You got to push your cable down. See how the cable is? You got to get it so you can push that on there like that. Then you release it and your cable goes like that. It's kind of a tricky deal, but take your time and you can get it. Okay, one final piece on this carburetor is this cover. You have to reuse your old cover for this. Okay, one more thing I almost forgot is you got these this vent here. You gotta pull off the plugs that they have on there and then plug this back in like so. And now that's the install, completely installed. I'm gonna go around, check, make sure everything is hooked back up to it, and it's ready for the first fire here. But we'll see if she cranks up. So that's how you remove a carburetor and install a new one. I hope this video helps some people. It's really not that difficult of a job. You can do it if you take your time. So I guess that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next one.